Hey yo, this is another Tuesday toy photography tutorial, and we're gonna do something a little different today. Instead of just going over like one tip or trick, I thought it would be cool to just go through the whole shot process with me. Starting with that, I obviously get inspired by movies and shows, but I don't try to exactly recreate scenes from them. However, I did have a request to shoot this one scene, and I had to do it because I really wanted to do it. It's a simple shot, but let's check it out. So I didn't have a desert diorama exactly like the background, but I got something similar. I knew Grogu's arm wouldn't stick out the way I wanted it to if it was still connected to him. So I just took his arm off and put it on some fun tack and then put that in the pram. I think it worked. To hold up the pram, I used some of my thick gauge wire. I was lucky that it fit perfectly into the hole that is designated for a stand. And nobody's gonna know. Now we're gonna put our main character, the Mando. He doesn't come with a straight pointer finger, but the SHF Boba Fett does, so I used that hand. Surprisingly, it didn't fit perfectly, but we'll make it work. It's a simple pose, but sometimes the simple poses are a little bit harder than like an action pose. As a simple prop, I had to grab the IG droid. Not sure if it's 88 or 11, but it works. Then I wanted to throw these boxes down in the barrel. I need to paint them, but I knew for the shot it wouldn't matter. I'll be painting them soon, don't worry. For lighting, I had my basic Lume Cube hooked up overhead, and then I had this Lume Cube edge light that I wanted to point through the diorama and kind of shine through. We'll be adding some rays later on to really pump that effect. So turning off my main video light, here's what we got. Last light source is gonna be to bounce that first Lume Cube light. So I have it pointing at Mando, but it's also pointing past him, and so it's gonna be reflected. And for our last practical effect, some atmosphere aerosol, really gonna help bring all the light into the image. I kind of ran out, but I was trying to pump out the last bits of it. So really happy with the shot before any editing. Now that we have our image uploaded onto the computer and into Photoshop, I usually like to crop first. I go for the 4x5 or 5x4. Those are the best for Instagram, and I usually like the way those look. It's not necessarily the final crop, but it's a good starting point. Going to speed through the stand removal, just because I have some other tutorials on that. Onto one of my favorite things, the color grading. So some of the tools that I use the most are going to be the curves tool. And then I didn't start out using this, but I really like using the gradient map. Kind of set like what you want your darkest parts of the image to be and brightest, and what color you want them to be. I usually do a soft light on the blending mode. I think that's the best, but you can mess around. Different colors might have different effects on your image. One LUT that I like to use is film stock, and on soft light really brings out some natural contrasts. One of the last things I do is add some brush effects. Here I have a smoke brush that really just adds to the atmosphere. Like, it looked cool without it, but it just kind of adds to it. And I also have these light rays that are brushes that I can just add on. And so it already had like that light coming through, especially with the atmosphere, but this just adds to it. And so I really like doing that on a lot of my images to kind of add to the practical effect. Going to duplicate the project and then flatten the image, add a high pass filter with blending mode to linear light. It really just helps sharpen the image. I like that. And lastly is exporting to Instagram. I always do the width is 1080 pixels and the height will just depend on what your ratio is. And that's our final image. Let me know if you like this kind of style for a tutorial. I have a ton of ideas. Go create and inspire, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.